Hello everyone, this is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. So last time I largely did the head. Where is my cursor? It is hiding. Okay, just because Krita's being weird. You know, fair enough, that happens sometimes. Alright, well, I'll just go ahead and navigate with my mouse for the moment. Okay, there it goes. Okay, probably just had a small brush. Anyway, the conclusion I came to when I looked at the picture here and that I liked it when I was at, about 50%, I thought this looked pretty good. But when I zoomed out far enough to fit the entire thing on my screen here, and my screen is comparatively bigger than a lot of people's, so I don't know, it just didn't look quite as good zoomed out. And the conclusion that I came to was that I think if I just made the lines all a little bit thicker, then everything would work. But that's the trouble, isn't it? It means I gotta go and make all the lines thicker, and that's gonna be a little bit of an adventure. But I figured that I'd at least start with the hair here. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm going to just make a new layer for myself, and we'll call it Lines Science. No, not Cube. Let's get my fingers on the right keys here. There we go. Lines Science. And I'm not going to clip them to anything, and I'm just going to zoom in real close here. I will hide some of the stuff behind her hair for a moment, just so I can kind of see what I'm doing here. Once I find it. Hiding somewhere down here. There we go. Okay. So I'm just gonna make these lines thicker. And I'm gonna see what it looks like. And then the other thing I'm kind of curious about trying is also making them dark instead of light. So making them probably like this color, for example. And seeing how that looks. I think I like them light though. But nonetheless, I will still try, but let me try making things a little thicker first. Or, looking at this, probably more than a little thicker. I really want to amp it up. I'm just going to do the outside ones first, and I am not symmetrical. Okay, I tried that again. Actually, I don't have to delete it. I can just mirror it. Okay. But there we go. Now I have my symmetry tool on. I was just doing some writing earlier, so now I'm translating from, or transitioning from writing brain back to art brain, and they are a little bit different. So I gotta shake all the word-based cobwebs out of my ears now. But it's okay, it's a good time, and whatever I manage to write this month will reduce the amount that I need to write for, Nano next month. I am allowing myself to carry over whatever words I write this month into that challenge. Just to make my life a little bit easier. Okay, I'm not actually sure if these lines are going to be thick enough. Legit, I have no idea what to expect here. But that's all I can think of. It's just that when I zoomed out, the lines felt a little bit hard to see. And the way you make those easier to see is to make them bigger. So, or at least it's a way. And I'd go as far as to say it's probably the easiest. And the reason that I'm doing it from the outside here is that I don't really want to be taking up more space on the inner part of the strands here. I feel like some of these colors are already a little thin. I'm really hoping I don't have to change them since I did put some gradients on them. Maybe I should do my gradation on a separate layer now to make things easier to fix while I'm experimenting. I don't know. But I will see what happens here. So yeah, I'll just do the outer part of this strand for now and do a comparison before and after. I'll see if this is moving in the right direction. And if it is, I'll consider doing the rest of the hair antennae in this way. And if that looks really good, I'll start doing it for the rest of everything else too. But for now, I'll just get this. And the inner parts are going to be a lot harder to make thicker, so I'm a little nervous. But if I have to do it, I have to do it. And it probably means that I'm going to have to redraw some stuff, and it'll be annoying, and I'll be sad, and I'll probably complain a lot. But it is what it is. It's okay, the complaining helps me cope. It lets me suffer from my art a little bit more easily. Vent out those emotions and just do it as necessary to make the picture really good. Especially if you're just complaining to yourself and you're not really expecting anyone to care. Complaining can be pretty okay sometimes. Kind of like feeling sorry for yourself. Sometimes it can help, but if you go overboard, you're gonna have a bad time. Okay. So this is where things are going to get kind of interesting, because this is where the outside actually overlaps with some stuff. But I think I'm still going to just do it like this. And the best part about doing it all in a new layer is that if I mess it up a little bit, I have easy ways to fix it. Oh boy, I am a little scared. Okay. But this looks alright. It actually does. Alright, well this shadow is being smothered, which is a little bit sad for it, but it's okay. Maybe I'll put it back someday if I decide to keep this pattern. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to do some work in certain areas. Put some of these shadows back if I do decide to do it like this. That's alright. There are worse things. And normally when I'm doing science, I wouldn't take the time to make it neat, but for this one, I really do think it has to be neat in order for me to actually test whether or not I like it. So that's why I'm taking the time to make everything nice and smooth. Even if I am just experimenting and I may not even keep this. So anyway, did that fix my problem? If I just turn this off and look at it from up there. Sure did. Okay. So yeah, the problem is largely just that my lines are a little bit too thin. Perhaps even more than a little bit. Because yeah, that made a huge difference. And you know what? While I'm out here doing some science, I'm going to go ahead and lock all of my line layers. And I am going to try making them dark. Let's see, lines. Okay. So I am going to take every single one. I have now locked all my line layers, and I'm going to color them dark. So I'm just going to use that dark color from the background, and I want to see what it looks like. Like I said, it is science. So if I don't like it, then I will just undo it all. And that is fine. I get the feeling I'm going to prefer them light, but I want to see it for myself. And in fact, even just seeing it halfway here, I do think I prefer it light, but I will get the whole thing and verify. I gotta admit, it does look kind of cool like this, but I do think I prefer the lines light. Okay, I didn't get her back here. It really changes how it looks though, man. That is so different. But yeah, I think I prefer them light. Let me just go back and forth a few times and take a good look. It really is kind of cool though. It is incredibly amazing how different it looks. I'm not sure what's with these parts here. That's some kind of residue from something. I feel like I should be concerned. Yeah, I probably should be. I don't know where it's coming from. Oh no, this means I have some stuff going out here. I should clean that up. Because that should definitely not be there. Well, I guess there's no point in cleaning it up right now, but that should definitely not be like that. Okay, well, I'll clean that up after I check things. Yeah, I think I still prefer it light, though. So we'll just go all the way back, and I guess this is why I didn't really see it. So this means I didn't have the layer locked while I was doing gradients on the hair. Oh, that's unfortunate. Alright, well, let's do some cleaning. I'm gonna go ahead and invert the colors here, just so I can kind of see where the problem bits are. And I'm gonna go clean those up. I cannot let those exist like this. This will cause problems further down the line if I do not clean up this residue right now. And unfortunately, the hair is not symmetrical, so I just have to do both sides separately. Life is hard. But it's alright. I'll get through it. Actually, I think this part of the face is symmetrical, so maybe I can just at least get this curl on both sides at once, because the curl is probably going to be one of the harder parts. Oh, I hate it when I do that. Oh well. What can you do? The mistake has already been made. Okay, and I think that's the extent of the symmetrical parts here. I'll go ahead and hide the eyes again, just so I can see a little bit better. And make sure that I actually get it all. I do not want any of this semi-transparent stuff on here at all. It'll definitely cause headaches for me later. Okay, well this is gonna slow down my sciencing, but such is life. Alright, so the plan, once I correct past me's mistakes here, is I'm gonna go in and finish off the thickening the lines on all the hair antennae, and go from there, yeah. Well, if I'm pretty sure that I like it, and like what I change on that area, I'll go and make the changes everywhere. And that'll just be how I do the whole picture from then on. I do just think it's important to make sure that it actually looks good in the way most people will view it. Because, like, let's be real. When you're scrolling through Twitter, nobody ever clicks on the image to make it bigger and really take in all the details. Like, that never happens. People just keep scrolling. So, I always like to make my drawings high res. It makes me happy, and this is also why whenever I say, hey guys, go look at the big version, I always link to, like, Pixiv, because Pixiv will actually keep that quality. So, but yeah, I gotta make sure that the view that people will see on Twitter actually looks pretty okay. Although, who knows? Knowing Twitter, it'll probably just zoom in on her boobs or something. I don't know. I swear that just keeps happening when things aren't square. Incidentally, that's also why I rarely draw in portrait, which is, you know, when the length of the image is bigger than the width. Because most social media doesn't like that. Things you have to think about when you want to publish on the internet. Kind of unfortunate, really. Well, this one kind of demanded it, and frankly, I think even if I did like a crop from the waist up, that this one would still look pretty okay. So I'll probably just have a version like that, and then like the full thing and all that good stuff. Okay, looks like I got it all. So there we go. Now I can turn everything back on and fix her skin tone there. All right, and now we should not have any weird residue. Okay, and now I can go right back into the planned science. Okay, so the lines... Some of these lines I still want to keep really thin. I do. But I have to kind of pick my battles here. Like, these two I think I'll keep really thin. But this one I do think has to be thicker. And this one I think has to be thicker. And I have to say, I am so glad I put this on another layer, because otherwise I would be so scared of messing everything up. Layers are nice for that. They let you do science in peace. Okay, and this one I think I'm gonna make thicker. And this one. So this should give me a lot more line variance as well, which is probably a good thing. We'll see how I feel. When it comes down to it, I feel like most of these decisions are kind of based on gut feeling. I just look at it and I'm just like, is this good or is this bad? And I feel like a lot of getting good at art is actually just developing your intuition. Honestly, it's a little bit scary to say it, but I think it's true. Because sometimes you just know things. Okay. So I'm gonna make most of these quite a bit thicker. I'll probably redo all the highlights as well, but I think I'll do those closer to the end. And I'll just add a few thinner spots here and there where I feel like it's appropriate. But the good news is, once I find a width that works really well, I'll just be able to translate that to every other part of the picture. And I'll just know what to do. So I don't mind taking my time a bit on the little bit of science that I'm doing here, just to make sure that I get it right. Should all be good. Okay, so I think I got about halfway through this at this point. Phew, it is a little bit tiring, I gotta say. I might actually change the layout of some of the hair here. I kind of hate to do it since I already applied gradients, but it'll probably make it look better. So it might be necessary. Okay, but let me see how this looks zoomed out a bit here. I definitely like the thicker ones on the outside, but I don't know if I like the thicker ones on the inside. I should have done a separate layer for that. Okay. I'm not going to erase it. I'm just gonna messily move it onto a new layer here. I say messily, but I'm actually being a little bit neater than was probably necessary here, but it's all good. And I'm gonna have to do each side separately, which is kind of unfortunate, but... it's alright. This is the heart of science. Just trying things. Okay. So... I'm going to cut all of the stuff I just did out here, move them on into a new layer. Then I'll merge these together. I'm just putting them on separate ones because it's convenient, more or less. And I will see how that shakes out. Make sure all of this is in there. And I gotta get it for both sides. I'm pretty sure I'm cutting out a little bit more than I bargained for there, but it's okay. I can put these other parts back as necessary, so it's fine. And I'm just holding down Shift to add to the selection here. Oh, it looks like I didn't even get the spot anyway. Okay. Oh, that's fine. Alright. So now I should be able to cut that out and merge those two together now. And now I should just be able to get the outside without the inside changes. Yeah, I don't like the inside ones that thick. I think that they look better thin. But I do really like this thicker part on the outside. So, okay. Okay, so I think I'll kill the inner ones here. I'm not going to worry about them. Let me just make sure that my outer ones here are still looking good. And I got rid of everything that should have been killed there. And then there might still be a few places here and there that I want to make the lines a little bit thicker. Like, I actually kind of like the way that here looks, for example, where I didn't thicken all of them, but I did some. And I think I made pretty good choices for which parts to make thicker. So I kind of want to do something like that here. So I'm going to make another layer just in case. And I'm going to make a couple of these just a little thicker. So like this one here. I think I want to make this line just a little bit thicker. Just put a little bit more separation where I feel like things are more separated. Yeah. More or less. I'm not actually sure if there's anywhere else in this part of the hair, at least. Because, yeah, like, that looks really good. I think I could even do a little bit more on him. Okay. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Okay, and in that case, I think I'm going to make a slight change to just the regular lines here. This is going to be hard to do on a proper science layer, so I'm not. I'm going to be bold and just do it right here. I kind of want to make this part a little bit thicker. And I kind of just want to do it like this. And we'll send this up into here. Yeah, it's gonna take me a minute to perfect that line. Let's just try that again. Now I just kind of want to straighten it out just a little. Okay, and then I want to get it a constant thickness relative to the rest here, because I do kind of like all that. And then I want to color all of this in and make it dark. Oh, but not on the lines layer, definitely not. Okay. There. Okay, and I think that should look pretty good. Let me see, I'm still not quite satisfied with how these lines are, so let's just touch them up a little. And there we go. I just want to keep that dark separation between the two strands. In fact, I think I will change the angle of it a little bit more. We'll send this up a little bit more. It's true, you can't be afraid of changing things. Just gotta go. Embrace the unknown. Even if it's scary and means you have to do a bunch of work and fix a bunch of things you already did. It's all good. Alright. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. And a lot of the inner lines aren't super visible here, but frankly, I don't think they have to be. You can kind of see the hints of them, and the gradients do make it look very nice, I think. So I'm going to start doing this for some other things too. I'll still make a separate one because I'm scared. At some point, hopefully I'll remember to go and merge all the layers, but if I don't, it's not really a problem either, so... Okay. Back to the thickening. Here we go. So these top ones are going to be interesting because technically it's all covered up by the hair on the layer above, so I might have to do some cleaning of the antennae here. Okay, so I'm gonna turn on the antennae again, and I will go ahead and clear right here. So I might have to do a little bit of redrawing there, so maybe I should have done a little bit more on the headband here first, but oh well. Mistakes were made, I guess. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. Okay, and then the inner part here. I want a little bit more thickness through there, I think. I am eating a whole ton of shadows here, but it's okay. I will just put them back. And so I think I will do that now. So that means that this little line has to move a little bit. And I will just do it like this. Actually, maybe more like this. Yeah, that seems reasonable. And then on the headband layer itself, I just flop this back in, and then we go back to the science here, and I fill in this part. Yeah. Okay. So before I move on, I want to adjust my science lines here to take into account, and I guess the regular lines too, the new headband. Since I did kind of raise up all the things here. But it's alright. When I went into this, I knew that I'd probably spend a bunch of time fixing stuff, so I was mentally prepared. Okay, and then here I just grab the dark color and fill in the stuff here. Okay, we're still not done. I still want things here to be a little bit higher up. Kind of the same over here, actually, so let's raise this up a little. Okay. And then it's just cleaning, 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 cleaning. So much cleaning. A little bit more over here. There we go. Okay. Fill in the color. More cleaning until I am happy. I just feel like there's still a little bit too much residue going on here, so better clean it. Okay. How are we looking out from, like 12% here? 16. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Unironically, just thickening the outside lines and only changing a little bit about the inside fixed 90% of my issue. So, yeah, I'm on the right track here. Alright, time for some more science. Now we're getting into the asymmetrical parts. This is like the last part of the hair here. So, here we go. I'll make all of this thicker. But I'll say that this was a very, very successful science. Because I learned fairly quickly here that only some of the lines needed to be thicker. And if I attempted to make them all thicker, it actually looked pretty bad. So, and the inside ones being thinner actually doesn't look very bad. Even when zoomed out all the way. So, I do think that this should do it. And then hopefully I'll just be happy with everything. So like these lines by the ears, I might leave them thinner, for example. And this is good to know for when I get down into the clothes. That I probably shouldn't do a lot of the wrinkles lines thick. And that kind of thing. Okay. This is one of those things where I think just being able to look back on what you've been working on without judgment or, getting too upset is really, really helpful. Because, man, when you've put a bunch of work into something and something about it is just not working. Oh, man, it can feel real bad. And I was pretty nervous at the end of last stream when I zoomed out and I was just like, I don't know if it's working for me. I really don't. So I just kind of sat back and took a few days to ask myself, okay, why is this not working? What is wrong here? And eventually I came up with a couple of solutions to try. One of them was, are the lines too thin? Another one is, would this look better with dark lines? And I tested both of those here. I do think that the thicker lines helped a lot. But I actually didn't think that making the lines darker looked that good. I think I could have definitely made the picture work like that if I made that choice, but I think I still prefer the lighter lines. And I don't think I would have been able to come to these conclusions if I hadn't just, taken a step back and really analyzed the picture and what was going wrong. But there we go. I think that did indeed solve much of my issue. Alright, let's do some head science. So let's see, the parts that still need proper science. We have all of the facial features and the back hair. But I've gotten everything else. I'll see if I want the highlights to be thicker. I think they're actually looking pretty alright here. I feel like I still see them quite clearly. And then I also know that some of this is just going to be the picture not finished. And it's going to look a little bit weird until it is. So, I don't want to get too deep into a lot of things until I have more of the picture done as well. But this, I think, is a good idea. So, I'm going to go ahead and finish it off. I think I like this a lot. And from the thickening of the hair shadows there, I am going to have to change where they fall in the skin, which will also mean that I need to change up these lines a lot. So, that will require a bit of work. I'll go ahead and thicken the lines on the ears, too. I don't think I want the ones here to be too thick, but I think I want them to be a little bit thicker than they currently are. Okay. So, I'm gonna go ahead and kinda decide where I want these darker parts to be. So I went ahead and hid the blush and stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and hide the regular lines just so I don't bias myself. Oops. Bangs are asymmetrical, so I have to draw them out separately. Very important to not forget that. And this is telling me that I need to exaggerate things a little bit harder than I currently am. So I'll go ahead and exaggerate the thickness of these shadows here. Okay. And this little curl down here is symmetrical, so I'll draw both together. And I don't trust, the color on her face right now because I did add some gradients, so I'll go ahead and get my base color from her thigh and use that to kind of smooth out the rest of this. Actually, I don't like the location of that. I'm gonna pull it over here a little and make it more like this. Yes, that is a little bit better, I think. I kind of want it to be going away from the center of her face. Maybe even a little bit more than this. Okay. Go turn the layers back on. And I just have to redo the lines now. I'll start with this nice little curl. And I kind of want to fix this area by the ears a little. Want it to, I don't know, taper off a little bit more nicely than it currently is. There we go. I think that looks better. Okay. Now I just go back to these thin little lines outlining the shadows. Lines are hard. I always question how people do line art. It feels like black magic to me. There we go. I think I'm gonna make the nose a little bit thicker, but I'll do that in science. So that this way I can easily erase it if I don't like it. Mouth too. Okay. Now for up here, all the little asymmetrical parts. Just redo all of those. Yeah, you can see how much bigger the shadows are. I think they'll look better like this. I'll just go ahead and do it on the lines layer. This isn't really science, so... Someday I will get this curve right. So close yet so far. Okay. Let's see if I can just... Yeah, there we go. Just connect it. It's fine. Okay. So how are we looking up at 16% now? Yeah, I think it looks a lot better. Okay. Now I just gotta do the same thing with the eyes, and I am very concerned about the eyes. Like, extremely. I'm a little nervous. So, well, you know, let's do my best. It's okay to be a little nervous. It's all good. But I think everything will work out just fine for me, and I should have my mirror on. Here we go. Because the hair is asymmetrical, I'm pretty sure I still have to do both sides separately, but, you know, if I can save myself even a little bit of effort, I think it's worth it. I don't know how thick these eyebrow lines should be. I legitimately have no idea. So, I'm gonna try things, and I'm gonna see what happens. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, let's go do some eyes. Or the eyelashes, I guess I should say. Yep, I'm still on a science layer. Kind of wonder if I should make these a different color, honestly. Instead of using the hair color, make them stand out a little bit more. Let me get these thicker lines in, and then I actually kind of want to try to make them the same color as the eye lines. And then see how that looks. Okay, and then on the eye white, I'm pretty sure I just drew all that on the same layer, so I will just do that, I guess. Okay, and then that part up here is actually this color. Okay. So I'm going to do a little bit more science again. I'm going to go ahead and lock these eye layers, and I am going to take this kind of more blue color here, and I'm going to change the colors and see if that looks better. I think so, actually. So, okay, I'll keep that. So with the pupils, I already remember last time I had them thicker and I didn't like it. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave those that side, and the only one that I want to make thicker is this part on the outside here. The rest I will leave the same. Okay. Yeah, that's all reading much, much better. These ones back here, on her back here, I might actually leave thinner. I think I want to make the outsides a little bit thicker. Just a little bit, not like as thick as in the front, but a little bit thicker than what I have. But I do think it is all reading much better at 16% now. I think I want to bring out that blush light a little bit more. Hello there, Tito. Welcome back. So I'll put a little bit of light back on the cheeks there. Yep, that reads a little bit more clearly now. Okay, back to back hair. Where are you? Okay, so I just have these separate. I'll go ahead and do them on the same place. It's fine. So I'm going to make them a little bit thinner than what I'm doing at the front there. But only a little. Only a little. There we go. And I'll just do the blue ones here too. It's fine. Just thicken those lines a tad. I think the inside ones are probably fine. Okay. And that does indeed read much more clearly when I zoom out. So, yay. I have solved my dread, I think. Am I okay with this line being, or this shadow being as thin as it is? I think I want it to be a little thicker. I'm realizing just, yes, I need to exaggerate everything much harder than I normally do in order to make this work. So, alright, let's go fix that too. I will go ahead and erase the lines here just so I do not confuse myself. And I will go ahead and thicken the line right here. Or the shadow, rather. It is kind of a line. It's a line and a shadow. As most things in my art tend to be. Okay. And then I just do the quick outline down the chin again. Here we go. Oh, I did not get the right color. There we go. It's like, no, I already tried darker lines. I didn't like them as much. Okay. Alright, so much useful information has been gained from all this, and I do think it looks a lot better than what I started with. Okay, so I want to do the rest of her weird head decorations. So that's going to be this little white thingy going behind her here. But as floofy as it is here, I think I need to make this bottom one, like, floof out way more than I currently am. So, how is it relative to her shoulders? How long is it? Probably almost as long as this part, which, to be fair, I haven't drawn yet, but it is what it is. I'll just let it flip upward. That'll make its presence a little bit more clear. Yeah. Okay, looks good to me. And then the other one, I'd say it's about even with her back hair here. It does flip upward. So I will also let this piece... Why are you over there? Okay, well that was weird. Anyway, I'll let this piece flip upward a little bit more too. Pull it down just a little bit further. Let there be a weird doily in her head, I guess. Sure, why not? Why is it doing that? That is so weird. Anyway. Okay, that's a good shape. And then I think that from here, everything is just going to look weird until I have it finished. And just because stylistically, the top and the bottom are really different now. Like, the head has all this stuff going on that's not down here, and it's sad, and... I just gotta finish it. Easy. Easy. Just gotta finish it. Alright. Well, let's get on that. Okay, so I'm gonna take a look at this weird thing. So those are like tiny little holes, I guess. Goes up and then there's a little... What shape are those? They're small enough that it probably doesn't matter, but I'd like to get it. I guess they're just... little triangles? Yeah, she's extremely triangular, so triangle sounds good to me. Okay, so I'll just draw each of these carefully about how wide... Okay. So this part should probably come up more like right here. And then it comes down here. There we go. That is some slightly more proper sizing, I think. Send this part up here. Hello there, Blood Bullet. Welcome back. Bring it on up here. Okay, wanted to make sure I was on the right layer there, because I was afraid I wasn't for a second, but all is well. So far, going pretty well. I fixed some things that were bothering me here, so that's always nice to do. Much science was done, and it was very successful. I do not want these to be overlapping quite like that. That is... no. That is better. Okay. I just didn't want the corner to be overlapping. I didn't want to make it look like this thing in the back was the same as this. Even though the colors are different, if they overlap, like, right at that point, it's still awkward. Oh yeah, I do this one 3 times a week. I decided I wanted to do some stained glass stuff, because stained glass is cool. Okay. So there we go. I'm gonna hide this part for a second just so I can get this part looking good now. Kinda gotta do both of these little pieces together. Yeah. She's looking. Looking down on everyone. Sounds about right. Okay. So I'm gonna round this out just a little. I don't want it to be too sharp. And I think that's all that shows on that piece, so there we go. I should probably do the shoulders before I completely finish this part, but I kind of wanted to get it started. It's gonna drive me nuts not having the proper lines and stuff there, so... Okay, well, we'll let myself be slightly insane for a bit, it's fine. I'm used to it. I do want to do the shoulders and stuff before I do that part. Just because I do want to know how much of this part I have to draw. Okay, so... Oh god, do I dare touch the weird halo? Okay, so I think I have... Okay, I'll go ahead and fix that. So this will be interesting. Let's see, how do I fix that? I guess I'll just make it vertical. And do that. Is that now closer to the size I think it should be? Little thick. Let's try again. I want to get this carefully here. That seems pretty good. And then I just put it back. There we go. Really paying attention to the angle that it's sitting at here. I want to make sure I get it right. And then from there, I just want to make sure that it's not overlapping this outer border at an awkward spot, so... That is more important to me than replicating what's going on here one-to-one, so... Okay, so that should be good. And I don't think I want to touch this too much more until I get these, because these are sitting on top of this. So I guess I'll go in and get all the shoulder pieces? Yeah. I guess it's time. Oh, terrifying. Alright, well, let's get her neck. I do believe that I already have the neck part good because I wanted to get her back hair here. So all that should be fine. Actually, I see something I kind of want to fix in the back here. I don't like this shadow part. So I'll go correct that here. I'll just go ahead and draw how I want the shadow to be, and then I will color in the spots. There. So, like that. Yes, yes. I think that is much better. Okay. And now I just color in the spot, and that should do it. I just did not feel like the way I had it was lining up with her chin properly. And now that's lining her face a little bit better. So, there we go. Okay, back to what I was looking at before, which, the neck. Neck looking fine. It does not have lines. I'm not going to put them there yet. I kind of want to do a little bit more on the collar. So I'm going to hide all of the stuff on the back of her head again. And I'll go ahead and just smooth out this collar piece. Yeah, and I guess before I do that, I'll go ahead and get the ribbon. I am just getting distracted by everything. That's alright. Okay. Can I just do this? Let me pick a color for it first, but... Can I just use a stroke instead of actually drawing a line for this part? Because if I could, that would be fantastic. So let's give it a try here. Just gotta get all the things in there, and then, I don't know, closer to like... Okay, yeah, looks like a stroke will work. This doesn't always work on everything, but like I noticed that this was a circle, and strokes tend to do better on circles than anything with a point. So I was like, yeah, maybe it'll actually work out for me. Do one more. I don't know if I like that color. I think I want to desaturate it a little, but that's fine. It's pretty easy to change colors here, so... Okay, yeah, that's good. Cool. Saved myself some work there. And now I can just decide shadow colors and... What do you look like? What kind of pattern is on this? Let me go find a higher resolution image here. Oh, there actually isn't that much of a pattern on it. It's just circles. Okay. That's pretty easy then. Alright. Kinda hate that color. Let's not use it. I'll pick a different one. Kinda hate that color too, actually. Man, why are they both so gross? Alright. I might just have to, like, manually color pick instead of mixing. I do like mixing colors more than color picking overall, but, you know, sometimes things just don't work out, and it's very sad. Oh, that one's not bad. I kind of want it to be a little brighter, though, so let's see here. Hello, Tails, and yes, that is Kronii. Right now, I'm trying to get a nice shadow color here. I think that's good. Alright, I think I can be happy with that. So now let's get all the shadow shapes that I want in here. And once again, I have to remind myself that I need to exaggerate everything more than I think I do. Okay. Kind of find where we stop seeing the bottom of this ring here. So I'm just defining, because like she's leaning back slightly and looking down. So we're seeing the bottom of the ring here. And I am trying to figure out where we stop seeing the bottom of it at this on this side. Like on this side, it's pretty obvious. It just goes all the way around, I think. And then there's also going to be a shadow dividing the two rings here. So I'll plop that in there. There we go. I want it to be fairly thin, I think. Although, you know, I was just saying that I gotta remind myself that I got to exaggerate shadows much more than I think I do, so maybe I should make it a little thicker. Okay. Okay, so let's figure out what's going to be going on here. So, because we're seeing this, I don't know, brooch thingy slightly from below, this top part I think will slightly overlap this ring here. So I do believe what I have here is correct. And then at some point we start seeing the inner part of the ring here. Yeah, I think right around there is about correct. And then there's like another little circle around the little heart-shaped thing in the middle. I'm actually gonna hide the gem. I want to make sure that I get that circle based on the rest of this, rather than how I think it should be with the gem, and then I'll resize the gem accordingly. But fortunately, I think I can just cheat and use a perfect circle here. So that will make my life a little bit easier. And as always, you know, just taking my time to make sure that I like the shapes I'm creating here. Okay. Oh yeah, I think I am just going to make a perfect circle based on how big I think this should be. So like somewhere right around here, I think is accurate. I will center this. And yeah, I think it's in a good spot. I'm gonna work this top part just a little bit more here. Gotta get everything just right. Okay. And now I can actually get this part. Understandable. I don't think she'd appreciate it if you tried to eat that, though. Let me see. About how thick do I want this line to be? Let's try 10. 10 too thick. Considerably, actually. So maybe more like 4. That's good. Okay. And is that... No, this ring needs to be a little bit bigger. I made it too small. Okay. Center it again. Okay. So I think that's good. And now I want to get the inner part of this slightly thicker, because again, we are seeing this from below. So I want this part to be a little thicker and this part to be a little thinner. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and merge these two layers now. And from there, I can just, you know, continue to get the width just right. I always like to spend a little bit of extra time on inorganic shapes like this. I don't think so. I've just been talking about perfecting this thingy. Little brooch on the ribbon. Okay, I think that's good, and let's fit the gem inside now. A little bit bigger, it looks like. I can't do that, okay. Just a tad. Okay, so there we go. Does that match up with what I see in terms of proportion? Mostly. I just need to perfect the shape of the gem. But otherwise, I think it's fine. So let's get that gem right now. Okay. Man, I swear, when I start talking, my nose just gets so stuffy. It is the weirdest thing, and I hate it. Okay, so when I look at this gem, I see that it fills most of this center area. There's very little left. It just kind of follows the shape of it for the most part. Okay, and then on the top part, follows up here, and heads on down. Oh no. I'm just getting over one myself, so I hope you feel better soon. Quite possibly. I mean, in my case, I just have a kid going to public school, so being around that many other kids, it's kind of inevitable. What angle is that? There's like 2 in there. Let me zoom in on this little. I have a slightly higher quality version up here, so that this way I can check some of these smaller details more accurately. There we go. I think that's it. Okay. There we go. So that's gonna be interesting to outline. I think I'm gonna try another stroke again and be lazy. I enjoy being lazy when I can. It feels good. Okay, I'm gonna try it with the more saturated version and see if I hate it. I think odds are high that I will, so we'll see what happens. Makes me think, you know, maybe I should just do it right the first time, but, you know, it's fine. Inside, and much, much thinner than that. Oh man, I'm gonna have to fix so many things. That's fine. Okay, so I think that's about the thickness I want, and now I just have to make this not look hideous. So here we go. Man, look at all those little spots I missed. But it's okay. That's what smoothing things out is for. To make things not look hideous. And yeah, I can see that I'm gonna have to draw a little bit here and kind of correct the stroke. I mentioned when I was doing the round one that it has trouble with parts that are supposed to be pointy. And indeed, this is one of those parts that is supposed to be pointy. So that's all that was happening there. Now just make sure everything is smooth, and that I am not putting things where they don't belong. All that good stuff. But yeah, I think I can just use the stroke rather than line it. I think that looks fine, and I actually don't hate the color, so that's cool too. Okay. What kind of texture does this thing have? Okay, easy. So I'm just gonna lock the layer. I am going to plop in some random gem colors and it'll be great. I mean, either are fine. It's just, you know, when you're using the built-in stroke function, it really does not like pointy things. Alright. So I'm gonna draw some random pointy shapes. And they're gonna be so pointy, man. It's gonna be fantastic. Okay, and now I want one on some lighter pointy shapes. That will once again just be so pointy and amazing. Doesn't really matter where I put them as long as they exist. Okay, and now I just take the base color here, set my brush to overlay, and try to copy the shape of everything. Actually, I probably want it on color dodge, huh? Okay, and there we go. Shiny gem stuff. Alright. I think that's fine for my purposes. Alright, and now I just take a normal brush and we do lines. I guess I'll just do all of these together, that's fine. Okay. And I will line all the variations and stuff. It'll be a thinner line than what I do here. It is. Got, what, less than 2 weeks now? Actually, closer to 1 week, that's right, because tomorrow marks the 1 week remaining in Inktober. I have been counting down. I am ready to be done with speed painting. I like taking my time. I am so ready. Okay. And then I kind of want to have a big shiny highlight on here, so that'll be something like this, I think. There. Okay, that's sufficiently shiny, I think. Alright, let's line the brooch. Man, I can't even remember the last time I've had candy. I've never been much of a candy eater personally, but after some health stuff that happened a few months ago, I have basically sworn off sweets entirely, so... Okay. I'll go ahead and just fill in the part that need to clean here. So you can actually draw on the stroke. Fascinating. Or did I just merge the layer at one point? I did. Okay. Oh, so that means I actually can't fix that stroke easily. Whoops. Oh well. I think it'll be okay. A little scary, though. I don't think there's such a thing as being too old for a particular type of food. Food is food. Eat the things you enjoy. It's like, look, man. I'm nearly 14 billion years old and I decided to become a VTuber. Like, you're never too old for anything. It's fine. Okay. So, yep, I think that's good. I don't think those lines are too thin. Okay. Let's go add some shiny highlights to this. What color do I want my shiny highlight to be? It's fine. I just lock the layer and all is well. Can't color outside the lines when the layer is locked, so it's all good. How do I want to do this? I do want a couple of shiny highlights on this. I think I'll just do it like this. Go ahead and line that, and then I think the rest will be done via gradient. No. I can do better than this. Let's... What kind of shape do I want here? I think this one might not need a shiny highlight, actually. The middle one there. But I would like some on the rest. Okay, and I gotta be careful not to go outside here. Okay, and now I'll just get my airbrush and... Gradient time. Here we go. Right, I can't do that. Yes, I can. I can totally do that. Okay. No, I know what to do. I have to grab this and select the inverse. There we go. Use smooth, please. Okay, that should be good, and then I just grow the selection by probably like 2 pixels. What? I don't know what just happened, but I don't like it. Let's try again. Or do I want to shrink it? Looks like I might want to shrink it. Yep, there we go. I feel like that about most creative things, if I'm being honest. I describe it as black magic very often. And honestly, I think writing is way more black magic than art is. It's wild, man. No, legit, I do feel that way. And the reason why I think that writing is more black magic than art is just because I do not think it is possible to teach someone how to be a good writer, especially a writer of fiction. I think it is physically impossible. Like, 100%. You can teach someone how to make decent art. I think art can be much more taught than writing, but as I've been studying writing more, I legitimately do not think it can be taught. You just kind of have to feel it, and you just have to keep doing it repeatedly. And eventually, you get good or you don't. It's actually a little scary. Art has a lot more rules that can kind of be understood. So I consider it to be slightly less black magic than writing is, but art is still pretty black magic in my opinion. Alright, let's draw a ribbon. I will perform my own dark rituals now, so we can make a pretty ribbon. No, it's fine. Do both. It's a good time. I'm still kind of learning what I'm doing when it comes to writing stuff, but I think I'm making it work. But I would like to make a comic, and that does require me to actually be able to write a story too. So it is directly relevant to my current goals here. Alright, and then I want this color for kind of the bottom here. Yes, I am hoping to write one. In fact, I'm kind of hoping to finalize the character design for the protagonist on stream sometime. Well, I have to make it first. And I think that's still a ways out. My hope is that I have a first draft of the story done by the end of this year. I am going to do National Novel Writing Month next month to hopefully write out the script. So, with any luck, I will have my first draft of the story done for that, and then I can start the long, painful process of editing it. Okay, what were the tails of the ribbon like? You know what, I'm just gonna be lazy and open my other picture here. Okay, they are straight. They are straight, and they are very slanted. So I want the slant to be stronger here. Exaggerate everything. Okay. Oh no. That's quite late. Well, I hope you're able to sleep well. Good night. All right. And then let's see, there's gonna be, I think the tail comes out like right here. So I definitely want a dark spot here. There we go. Now the tails are coming out more nicely. Are they long enough? Yes, I think they are. So, yep, I think that's the outside of that. Pretty well defined, so I'm happy. Alright, so now I just need to define all the wrinkles and whatnot. And then I should have a nice looking ribbon. And I can actually work on like other things. I think it's funny that all of this started just because I was like, hey, you know, I kinda am ready to work on her other head accessories, but they were... they were behind other things. So I figured I should do the things in front first. I think I want this bump to be a little bit less strong. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright. Now just to get the points of the ribbon where it's all being kind of scrunched in together. So the ribbon is being tied and pulled together here, so that's what's causing these folds. On the front? On the front of what? Okay. So I just want to make all these nice little folds here. Where the ribbon is just being pulled into this fastener thing here. And I'll even plop a few little shadows cast from that little fastener there. And this side, I think I'm just going to make completely dark. Yes, I think that looks very nice. Am I satisfied with the folds coming out? Not really. Oh yeah, I did Chibidoki's ribbon yesterday. Now we gotta do Kronii's ribbon. There are just ribbons everywhere. Alright, let's actually get this looking nice here. I want to follow the folds I made a little bit more closely. I think that was my big mistake there. Let's see if that looks better. I still kind of don't like the angle of this part. So let's send that a little further in. Until I am happy. That's always the important part. You just gotta keep trying until you're actually happy with it. Okay, a little better. How do ribbons work again? I'm probably just trying too hard. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. So I just want this one to be bigger. So when I say that I'm just trying too hard, I'm just trying to add too many little folds here and there. And what I should do is just add a couple of very large ones instead of several tiny ones, and it'll probably look better. Almost. It is much closer. And then I think I just have this big one going a little bit too far out. So I'm gonna send it back in, and this one will become tiny. Yep, there we go. I was just overcomplicating it. I do that all the time, it's fine. I have learned to watch out for it, because I know it's coming. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and smooth that. Get it all looking nice. And then I can put on the highlights. I do not like the shape, though. The shape is super ugly. Shapes are too important to leave super ugly. That would just be cruel and unusual, you know? I may murder my shapes occasionally, but I will never leave them ugly. Never. Okay. Okay, and I think that's good. I guess I'll go do the bottom part real quick. But actually thinking about it, maybe it would have been a good idea to get the lines in before I went hard on this. Oh well. I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, and then I'm exaggerating the sides a little bit there. I'll just go ahead and plop this whole thing in shadow here. And I'll go ahead and just get these on in there. Get these little folds, just doing little fold things. This ribbon is quite straight, so I don't want there to be a lot of little fold things happening here. Just a little bit. So I think this is sufficient. I do want it to be a little smoother, though. Right now, there's a few little blobs doing blob things there, and I don't like blobs in my things, so there you go. And then I want a dark spot here. Just a cast shadow from the ribbon. From the tail of the ribbon here. Since the tails... No, the tail should be sitting on top. So I should do this the other way. I should have this color. Okay, okay. And then... So the ribbon will come up through here, like this, and then all this should be dark. You know what? That actually makes way more sense than whatever I was doing before, so I'm glad I thought about it. Okay. There we go. And I'd say that is a pretty good looking little ribbon. Huzzah. Man, my nose is just all stuffy. Don't think I need to do anything about it yet, but it is making my voice all nasally. Okay, maybe I need to do something. Give me just a moment here. suddenly could not breathe, and I was like, oh, well, that's a problem. Okay. So, where was I? Yes, I was gonna do highlights. I think these highlights are a little bit too dim. I kind of want to make them a little brighter. You're gonna get to see more, because I haven't drawn her earrings yet, I just realized. She has little ribbon earrings. So, yep, I'll draw those at some point too. I don't feel like it right now. So, yeah, probably next time. So that will be more ribbon stuff for next time. Okay. So, a ribbon highlight. Her ribbon is not especially shiny, it looks like, but I don't know. So maybe I should have a more matte highlight. You know, her ribbon is really not made out of a shiny material, so actually I think the highlight might be inappropriate. Let me take a look. I mean, with the particular style I'm going for? What the yeah, I know. I always say, you never know what something looks like until you try to draw it. Because you will notice so many more things the moment you try to draw it. Okay. So I do still want some light variance. But I guess I will not make the ribbon super shiny. So I'll just add a light spot on the top here. And maybe a light spot over here. So these highlights, they do not make sense. And that is intentional. This is a stained glass style, so I'm making it look more like stained glass, and for that I do like to add some just random color variation, just because it looks nice. So I'm thinking about other places I might want to add some more color variants. I think I'll put a little bit here. And then maybe just a dark spot here. Do I like that? No, I really don't. Honestly, for what this is, I think this might be enough. So let's go ahead and put in some lines. Okay. What color do I want the lines to be? Let's pick a color and see what happens. Maybe like this one. Okay, so I'll start with kind of ye old basic thin lines here, and I realize I'm not going to be able to see anything. Is this safe to... Okay, I'm going to hide the body layer first, just so YouTube doesn't freak out. Okay. But now I can see. Alright. And I will just go ahead and put in the lines here. I'm gonna start with them kind of thin, and then I will add the science layer after. And that will hopefully get me the line thickness I want. I'm just a little afraid of making the line too thick here on the inside. I don't know, maybe it's fine. Oh, no, that's probably fine. I'll go ahead and make it as thick as I want then. I don't need to worry as much as I do. I feel like that is the story of my life sometimes. I'll just have to change where I put some shadows down. I am, there we go. I was zoomed in to 133%, which, for whatever reason, just always makes things look bad to my eyes. So I needed to fix that. So this will be where the bottom of the ribbon is now. And then there will be a little tiny spot where it's a little bit lighter right there. And I want these lines to be thin. There we go. Just some gentle lines, gently outlining everything. Okay, just like that. And I'll go ahead and get this little shadow too. And just one by one, each of these will get their own little line. And then I will fill them all in proper at the very end. And I am so glad that all of this is symmetrical. Just means way less work for me. Okay. Now back to really, really thick lines at the bottom here. So yeah, I'm gonna have to like redo that entire little thing at the bottom there, but that's fine. Okay. So then we have the thick lines here. Then I want a little thin part coming from down here and into over here. Someday I will get this line right. I believe in myself. There, that's okay. And then we'll have this shadow here kind of coming out like this and up. Oh, yep. Gotta be careful. Okay, and then this light part can come down like this. That's way too thick. And like this. And just to make my life a little bit easier, I'm going to invert all the colors. And then I should be able to see a little bit better. And I will be able to just paint in all the colors where I want them to go. This is like the most awkward orange. But it'll get me to where I need to go, and that's what matters. And then I'll just go in and erase the parts that shouldn't be there. And all will be well. I will keep these extra little lines here just for what this bottom part represents. Represents a little bit of, like, thickness on the ribbon. So I don't think I want to blend those areas together like I normally would. Okay. Yeah, I think this looks pretty nice. Just go ahead and... I want to fix this line. I don't think it looks very good. And then here, I think I want this line to be a little bit thicker than the others, but not as thick as like this. Okay. Alright, so now, yeah, just filling everything in. Putting all the colors into their place. And then I can invert it and make everything pretty again. And I don't have to stare at these kind of, frankly, horrible colors anymore. They're pretty bad. But it does make everything a little bit easier to see, so I guess I'll tolerate it for now. And I'll just clean up any lines I don't like. And go from there until everything is just as I want it. I think that's pretty good. I'll go ahead and put all the colors back, and there we go. I think we have a nice little ribbon. So I think there's a couple of spots that I want to add some gradients. I think I want a light gradient up top and a dark gradient at the bottom. So that'll be this guy up top. Just over everything. Okay, and then I want to take a dark one and plop that just down here. Maybe not that dark. Maybe just this one. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And I'll put another dark one just right through here. And perhaps right here, too. Okay, there we go. Do not mind her disembodied form right now, it's fine. I'm just checking the ribbon and making sure that I like it, and I think I do. So let's go ahead and turn her body back on. Alright, I think before I do any of these black parts here, I want to get her shoulders and whatnot. And I do think that the shapes I have here are pretty good, I just need to smooth them. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. Yeah. So it's looking like I'm going to be getting most of her upper body done here today, which is pretty sweet. So let's see, where is the collar? There it is. Okay, let's smooth this on out. So this is light enough that I think it needs pure white outlines, which is always rare. Okay. Just wanted to make sure I had the shape of the collar looking right, and I do. Kinda sticks up a little at the end, so I wanted to make sure to capture that. Okay, and about how thick is that trim? I think I have it pretty good. I might make it a little bit thicker than this, just to account for the lines that have to exist. And yeah, it just disappears behind the ribbon. So I don't know its exact shape, but I don't have to. It's fine. So yeah, this is becoming much thicker than I would normally make it. Just because I do have to put lines on top. And her arms are raised, so I will put a little fold up in the shoulder there. I like doing little folds like that. It makes me happy, and I think they look good. So I will do that. And then on the side here, I'm gonna, eventually plop a little thing behind it there. I don't want to do that yet. I want to make sure I know the shape of her arms before I put such a thing in. Much like I didn't do that up here, where this is gonna go, like, behind her neck here. Because I wanted to know the shape of her neck. I think I'm just going to do it all in the same layer instead of making a separate one for it. I think it's small enough that it's fine. I do occasionally make separate layers for those things, but in recent months I've been doing it less and less just because it's kind of inconvenient to have another layer to worry about. I hate scrolling through my layer stack. It already kind of gets huge and inflated, so... Sometimes I miss the days of drawing all in one layer. But then I remember all the things that layers let me do, and I don't. I will not let nostalgia cloud my judgment. There are certainly downsides to working with a bunch of layers, but there are more upsides. So I keep doing it. Okay. So now I'll perfect all these little trim thingies. Make it all look nice. And then I will plop in some shadows. I don't think I'm gonna smooth it all. I mean, I guess I am here. I probably shouldn't be, but oh well. Such is life. And I'm gonna have to be careful of that blue. Ribbon's pretty close to the shirt here, so I will keep the shadows pretty near close by. I'll want some for the blue part as well. So I guess it's okay if I bleed onto it a little bit, since I will be coloring over that anyway. And then there's just going to be another little shadow like right here, doing shadow things over there. And then probably another one like right here doing... I don't know. I might skip that shadow one. Like, it makes sense to have it there. But, I think this looks fine. Yeah, this is detailed enough for what this part is. Okay. Let's go ahead and pick a shadow color for this blue. Is it the same color as her hair? I am going to check. Oh, I actually can't. Okay, is it the same color as her cape? Also hard to tell, but I'm gonna say probably. So I don't have a shadow color for the cape pick, do I? Okay. I'll go ahead and do that then. I'll just do it on the cape itself. I have more space to work with there, so I'll just do that. It does look like they are about the same here, though. Yeah. At least on my picture they are. I'll trust past me. And assume that she was diligent in color picking. I don't like it. Too light. Too bleh. That's pretty good. I'll take this color. Alright. Let's see here. Okay. So now I'm just gonna line up the shadows with this part. And it's gonna do something like this. Okay. And then from here, this will come out from here. And there. Perfect. And I think that's the only shadows this part really needs. I do want one that runs down the side here, but like I get the feeling I'm just gonna change the entire thing once I put in the outlines, so there you go. Might as well do it after. But I think that's about all that area needs. So I will go ahead and do the lines. Man, I'm gonna have so many things I can draw before I can actually do the back of her head here. I'm a little sad. I was hoping to just finish off the head, but it's like I could. But nah, I like doing it like this, so it'll be like this. Okay. So the lines aren't going to be super visible here, and that's okay. And then let's see. I think I will just use this color for those. And this is why I didn't want to spend that much time on that lower part there, the shadow that I wanted to exist. Because I knew that I'd be devouring everything with lines. So I figured I might as well do it afterward. I'll just draw it where I want it to be. And then I can fill it in. Just manually. Okay. That's all of that. I'll go ahead and do some thinner lines for the shadows and stuff. But again, these aren't going to be super visible, so I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time on it. This is where it might make sense to actually darken this white, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I like it this bright. I think it's just okay to have some lines that are a little bit less prominent. Now I just have to draw this little line that I want. Oh, that line's too thick now. I pressed too hard. There. Okay, that should do it. And then I just fill this in with dark color. At least in theory. And for this one, I will go ahead and combine these two shadow parts. Okay. And there we go. Much like I keep doing, I think I do want a little bit of gradation on the top here for the blue parts. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a color here. I think I want it to be in the blues as opposed to the yellows, like I would normally do. Ooh, that is super neon. I don't think I want it to be that bright. Maybe I do want it to be in the yellows then. That is still pretty dang bright, but I think that should be okay. Okay, and then I think I want a little bit of dark down here. And I'll just go ahead and use this color for the blue part. And I think I want a little bit more dark right here. Okay, and I think that looks pretty good. So there we go. Next. The shirt vest thing. Yeah, so I think it's going to be this part. And let's see. Yeah, I've got time to do that. So in order, I think it's going to be this part. And then I want to get this black part, so that'll let me finally get her neck. And then I can kind of finish off the back of her collar here and do that kind of thing. And then I think it'll be her shoulders and probably chest area here. No, I think before I do the shoulders, I want to actually get her arms. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it all turned out. And I think it's looking sufficiently stained glassy. Sometimes you just add random lights and it just works out. I wouldn't do that for normal paintings, but you know, this is supposed to be stained glass. Stained glass is all about the random shapes. So you gotta roll with it. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started on the shirt thing here. I think I'm pretty happy with the overall shape, so I just want to smooth it out as much as I can. And it has no, like, random trim or other stuff I should care about, right? It does have a fold going down the middle, which will be perfect for a random light source. So that's fantastic. But that's it. No other weird, like, collar trim or anything. It is always funny zooming out and looking at the picture again after being zoomed in for so long. But I do like to get things like really, really clean, so I have to be really zoomed in for a lot of that. Okay, and then I already remember that I have these two parts of the same layer, so I'm gonna do the lower part before I worry about this upper part here. Let me just get this curve going, and then it should be good. So I just want to make sure that everything is connected properly here before I worry too much about what's going on in the upper part. Okay. So yeah, that should all be good. I'm just going to put all of this in shadow, I think. Let me see. On hers, does it go past the ribbon? It kind of disappears into the ribbon, so I think I have it all correct. Cool. I'll just plop all of that into shadow here. Is that straight, right? Yeah, mostly. Just double checking to make sure I got all the shapes right, since I am drawing a nonsense anime shirt here. That just sticks to her body like some magical cellophane or something. No folds or anything. I guess it doesn't matter if I get this totally smooth, since I will be drawing lines on top of it anyway, so I'll just leave it like that. Alright, let's get this lower part here. And then I think I'm actually going to go ahead and draw some lines before I go in and smooth out all the details. I should probably start doing that. I think it makes more sense. Okay, I want to check the bottom there. It is a little bit concave here. Okay. So I actually want to change the shape up a little and to do something a little bit more like this. I just want to push it in a little. And then have it be a little bit longer going down like this. gotta take in all those little details. Make sure that it's all the way I want it to be. And there is nothing correct about this trim anymore, so I'm gonna kill it. It's gonna throw off my sense of how this all looks, so I better just kill it right now before it messes things up. So now I just want to get this part angled perfectly and nice and smooth. Get rid of any blobs. Any and all. Okay, and I think that looks pretty good. I think that's a good shape. So let's go ahead and put some lines on. Okay, and once again, I'm just going to use pure white. This is where things are going to get interesting, because I am, although it is on the same layer, I am considering these two separate areas, and so, I need thick lines going on the underside of her chest there to represent a border. And I'm not going to be able to see a thing like this, but I want to be able to put shadows and gradients wherever I want them, so I want the lines to be a consistent width. So I'm actually going to invert the colors on her shirt here, and I will draw accordingly. So there, now I can see a little bit more clearly. And I want thick lines running through here. That's actually gonna be tricky. Phew. Okay, let me make sure that this line is a consistent width. Okay, and I already see a couple of areas I need to adjust around here, so I will do that. Just make sure that all of these are kind of coming together exactly as I want them to. Okay. Good. I knew that would be the hardest part, so here's hoping that the rest will be pretty smooth sailing. I should... Well, I really can't. I'm gonna hide her body again, just so YouTube does not get mad at me. I fear the YouTube, so I do my best to stay out of the way. Okay. There we go. So that should be good for that part there. I kind of want this thick part to taper off nicely into that, so I'm going to take a second to get that. There we go. Just keep getting those nice thick lines all around. Oh no. I'm sorry to hear that. And I guess I'll start getting in some of the thin lines too that will denote various clothing folds and stuff. So there'll be a thin one kind of going underneath here. Okay, and then there's like, I guess it's not exactly a zipper, but it's kind of like one. Like it has no teeth, but there is a little area that's divided here. I'm going to make this a little bit thicker than the other lines, but not as thick as the outside lines. And I'm just going to keep doing this with all the inverted colors, just so I can see the lines more clearly. And I'm just like, God, please let me be able to draw a straight line today. Please. It's okay as long as if it's not perfectly straight, as long as it's close enough. And I do think that is close enough. Okay. So now I want to get kind of 3D effect shadow here. That'll just kind of go like this. So it'll live in there when it comes time to draw it. Indeed. Okay, and now the trim. What does the trim look like again? I have to go check that on the real thing here. Yeah, just a little thin line going all the way up and around here. I guess before I figure out this part, I should figure out what I'm going to do here. So, I want to get all the folds around her stomach looking good. And I guess I can also figure out where I want to put the random highlight caused by the shirt here. So there's also a little bit of trim on the side there. Okay, sure. We'll do the upper part first. I want to keep this line very, very delicate. But thicker than I feel like it should be. Okay, and then the lighter part. This would normally be a singular line, but I'm going to make it 2, just so I know where to put the light color. Also because I'm outlining the light color. Okay. And then that'll be where the shadow goes. And I will keep this split apart, will I? No, I actually don't think I will. I'll go ahead and erase on the inside here. Okay, so I think that's the structure of the top part. And I think I can make that all look very nice with some gradients. So now I just got to get the bottom part. I think I like the idea of a little triangular shadow just right coming in like this. I'll keep the line pretty thin. And the nice part is that if I change my mind, I just, you know, take it away and do something else. It's all good. And I see my past self tried to do some folds and stuff here, and I certainly understand why, but you know what? I think I'm not going to. I think instead, I'm just going to draw the trim. Drawing a straight line, so that means I have to be quiet. Okay, one more. I laugh because otherwise I would cry. But there we go. I think that's fine. I don't know how I want these to intersect yet, so I'll worry about that later. And I think that should be good. So I have a nice dark spot here. I'll probably put a dark gradient down here. And I think I just want like a random light spot somewhere. Maybe just like this. Make it somewhere between a triangle and a heart. Seems good to me. Okay. So now I just gotta fill all this in with color. Let's do it. Okay. So this time I'm gonna invert the color on the lines so that I can see them. I really can't put random light colors on a white shirt, can I? You know, I should have thought that through, huh? Okay, I'm gonna back up then. I'm just gonna not do that. Okay. So now I just color in the lines. You, I think I will actually make dark. Oh, shoot. I am on the wrong layer. Okay. Okay, yeah, I kind of like this. I am being super messy, but you know, that's okay. I'll fix it. And I guess I'll go ahead and get the line separating here. I think that looks okay. And this is just kind of where I get to derp around a little bit, so that's always fun. Trim will be this color. And I just kind of want to make sure that I like everything. And then I wanted this shadow to also be this color. So I probably do want a line separating these two areas. I will keep the line going across here. It maybe looks a little bit silly, but I think it makes sense. There we go. I want to zoom out and take a look at all this before I start really making it look nice, so that's why I'm just being kind of careless and messy. I am just figuring it all out, and I realize that I need some more cast shadows from the ribbon. And also the collar. So I'll line those two. And then I guess this trim will be an even darker color. And then I get rid of all of this stuff. Okay. Thinking about it, I think I might want another fold somewhere. I'm just thinking about where. I just feel like I need a little something right here. Okay. Let's go outline some of these other spots that I added. Very delicate. I do not want to be too strong with this. These lines are supposed to be nice and gentle. just barely even there. Okay, and I think that looks pretty good. So then here, I think this will affect the way the trim lines work as well. So let me go put those in. Okay, and then that means I'm going to want these lines to change just a little bit. I still want them to be there, but I want them to change their shape just a touch. See, I didn't even have to change very much, and yet a lot about this has changed. So I'm gonna unseal this side here. And I'm gonna do the same over here. Oh no. Well, I mean, if you're tired, you should go sleep. Don't worry, if you want to catch up on what I did, there's always VODs. But frankly, I think nice, soft art streams are good things to fall asleep to. Okay. Yeah, and I think that's all interesting enough to keep. So let's go ahead and actually clean up all the things. Ah, I see. Well, I mean, I never know what time it is. Because, I mean, a lot of people stop by at like 2 a.m. I'm always very surprised. But here we go. Alright, so yeah, just spend a little bit of time filling in all of my shapes here. At this point, I've got everything drawn, so it's just a matter of coloring in the lines, so it's super easy. And super brain dead, like even more than usual. Yeah, I know, I'm always surprised. And they're not even the first one I've seen. Happens a lot, it's very funny to me. But I don't know. Maybe people just want something gentle to fall asleep to. I mean, I'm certainly not going to complain. However people want to enjoy what I do is fine by me. And I appreciate that people enjoy what I do enough to stay up late for. It's very flattering. Okay, yeah, that's another part of the fold here. Go ahead and fill all that in. Make sure there's no little white spots hanging out. Don't want any coloring outside the lines. Just reminds me that my daughter is starting to actually really care about coloring inside the lines. She didn't really care until, you know, just a few months ago, and I guess she has convinced herself that it's bad to color outside the lines. So she's been practicing hard, but she still has some trouble. Tiny human hand-eye coordination. It's just not there yet. Okay, now that looks like all of it, so there we go. Let's go invert the colors. Alright, looking good. Let's go ahead and turn on some layers again. We'll give her her body back. I'm feeling generous enough to let her have it. I'll go ahead and add the gradients I want. So I kind of want a light gradient up here. And I think I want a dark one at the bottom here. And then kind of the mid-tone, dark at the bottom here. With maybe another little bit of light right over here. And like the folds and stuff. Okay. There we go. I think that's looking pretty good. And you know, with every piece that I do, I feel like the head bothers me less and less. So indeed, I do think part of what was bothering me was I am not done. I hate not being done. Okay. Alright, so I guess I'll go do the little spot on her neck here. But I think... yeah, if I can do her neck and this little chest thing. I guess you can call it a shirt. It's kind of a shirt, if you squint. And assume that half of it got eaten by a pack of wild cats or something. Yeah. I guess I'll go ahead and do the neck part and this part here. And that'll probably be the last thing that I do today. Alright, I just want to make sure that I get this shape really nice. It's an important area, so I want to make sure that it is, like, perfect. Want to make sure it is nice and round right through there. Keep cutting into that top part a little bit too much, but I do want it to be a little bit thinner up there. There we go. Okay. I'll curve this just a little bit more for perspective reasons. Let me see, I think that's actually a little bit too high. There. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, and there's like a bunch of little lines and stuff on it, but I don't think I'm gonna do those yet. I think I'll save those for when I do a bunch of like the other patterning and stuff, like the patterns on her cape, for example. I'm gonna save for like near the end. Well, I mean, it's always up to you. Like I said, I didn't know what time it was, so when you said you were tired, I was like, oh, is it, you know, 2 p.m. or is it 2 a.m.? Who knows? It's always a mystery. So yeah, I'll save all of those little patterns for later. I just kind of want to get the big structures right now. So yeah, I'll go ahead and grab that, and then I guess next time will be my nemesis, the arms. Sounds good, and then I can finish my quest to finish her entire head. Okay. But I think that's a good shape there, so let's go ahead and put in the lines. Let's see. I'm thinking about what color I want it to be. And I do think for this, I want to lean a little bit more towards blue than gold like I normally would. So I'll use a light blue instead of a light gold like I normally would for highlights. I think that color, but much less saturated, will look good. I don't know if I like it, though. I don't. Okay, I'll go ahead and draw the lines like this, and then I'll fix the color. Yeah, I hate it. Oh well, it's fine. Okay, and here I'm gonna want a shadow for underneath the chin. So I'll draw the thin line for that. Trying to find the right spot. I think... I don't want it to get too far away. Yeah, I think that should be good. And then just a little bit on the bottom for the brooch thing here, and just how necks work. Okay, and then I just kind of combine these two areas. And that should be it for this. I just need to color it in at the end, and of course, fix the terrible line color, but that'll be for a little later, after I get the lines on this. Okay. And then I think the shadows here, like when I look at her model, this looks like a very, very stiff cloth, contrasting the very kind of soft cloth of the white parts of her shirt. So I think all the cast shadows should just be cast from the ribbon. So I think I just want to do something like this. And then thinner in this area. Okay, and that should be good. I'll just combine them. And then once again, just a little thing on the bottom here for a little bit of additional 3D effect. I will not be putting that over here, because all of that is just going to be dark, and so it doesn't really make sense to do so. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And then I'll just combine these two areas here. So just erase the lines, and there we go. And now I just color. So yes, here looks like a very stiff cloth, so I think this kind of shading will be perfect for it. And like I said, all the other decorations and whatnot will come later. There's like a zipper, and then there's a bunch of like pinstripes on it. But I think I will save that for when I do a bunch of patterning. And that will come much, much later. I think I'll probably have everything else drawn before I do any kind of patterning. Patterning is a absolute nightmare to redo if you have to fix something, so I prefer just to do it all at the end. And while I'm here, I'm gonna add the lines to her neck. And I will make them a little bit thinner than the ones on the face. Okay, and I think that is fine. So there we go. Let's see how it all looks so far. Oh god, are her shoulders too narrow? You know, I'm glad I caught this now instead of when I was doing the shoulders. I think that'll be a job for future me to figure out what I do next time, but I think her shoulders might be a little bit too narrow. I mean, to be fair, they are absolutely tiny on her actual model, but in kind of my style, I think I might need to make them a little bit thicker. I'll go ahead and turn on the rest of my layers here, and I'll hide my center thingy there, just to get a feel for how things are going. But yeah, it's going. It is feeling more stained glass-like by the day. I don't know how I'm going to handle the background parts yet. That's going to be an adventure, but you know, that is an adventure for future me. Yeah, I think what I'm going to have to do for this one is that even though I have all this stuff going on, I think I'm going to have to make a version that really only shows from probably about, you know, like here up or something. Just so when I post it to Twitter, people will actually be able to see it. So I will definitely take extra care to make sure that this clock is like super awesome. Okay. But I think this is where I will stop for today. So thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.